press conference, the fight, the 8-ounce glove. What do you think about this?
I mean, first of all, I think it's all, like I said in the beginning, it's built for entertainment. It's a show. You know what I mean? A show on the worldwide stage. People want to see it. You know what I mean? And that's why it's being done. Conor was complaining about the big, according to him, the big gloves. So now it's going to be 8-ounce gloves, 2 ounces lighter. You know, and we'll see. You know, we'll see. He normally, it's not that easy for him to knock guys out with 4-ounce gloves. So we'll see how easy or difficult it is for him to try and knock out Floyd with 8-ounce gloves. You know what I mean? But if you think about it, it's actually gonna shut the critics up, because if Floyd is able to knock out Conor McGregor with 8-ounce gloves, that says something. You know what I mean? And Conor having 8-ounce gloves as well and not being able to do anything. It's just, man, there's so much behind it. You know what I mean? With the 8-ounce gloves and Conor saying he's gonna try and knock out Floyd within the first 2-3 rounds, and Floyd saying he's gonna knock out Conor McGregor within the what? He didn't say the round, right? He just said he's gonna knock him out. I personally believe Floyd. I can see his mentality. You know what I mean? In this training camp has been different. His demeanor is just totally different than it has been before. Now he's more aggressive, and he wants to come out with a knockout victory in his 50th and last fight. You know what I mean? This is going to be the last fight that you will see Floyd Mayweather in the ring with boxing gloves on. You know what I mean? After that, that's it. So I think that's why everybody is so interested to see also. You know what I mean? They want to see how he's going to go out. You know what I mean? With a victory, with a loss, or with a TKO win. And what better than on the worldwide stage against a UFC fighter? It's going to be, this 26 is going to be UFC versus boxing. You know what I mean? Which one of the two sports is going to come out on top? That's the question. And that's what has me excited for the event. You know what I mean? Because the UFC critics and fans, they're very aggressive, man. You know what I mean? So they talk about a chance to like sample their aggressiveness and their critics. I think that they're gonna shut them up. Like, you know what I mean? It's been like, nah, UFC, 4-ounce gloves. This is a mass sport. Blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? But now, enough talk. We're going to be able to find out what happens when a UFC fighter faces a professional boxer.
Well, that's the question I've been asking everybody in the room is it important for boxing's reputation?
Both reputations.
You know what I mean?
Both reputations are on the line. That's a good question.
But isn't boxing's on the line more because it is a boxing match?
Both. Because listen, if UFC wins, the credibility that boxing have will diminish a little bit, you know what I mean? So now we rely on Floyd to show the world what it really takes to become a world-class boxer and a world champion. If boxing wins, well, we show the UFC fans that, you know what I mean, boxing is completely different than UFC. You know what I mean? So it's going to shut a lot of people up, and it's going to be interesting to see. I think people are going to enjoy it. It's going to be a good night of entertainment. Because why I say entertainment is because besides the technical aspect of it, you know, we have two professional athletes that don't rely so much on how talented they are. You know, they're one of the most talented in their own sport, but they promote themselves very well. We know about them. The world knows about them because of how they promoted themselves. All the trash talk and Floyd, him being TMT, the money guy. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to know how he got there. And what would happen if he faces different type of opposition. And this is a good way for him to go out, I mean, in his 50th fight. I think all the boxing world is pulling for him. All the UFC world is pulling for Conor McGregor. You know, two worlds colliding, two worlds facing. And you know, UFC fans aren't so big. If you're 100% UFC, you're not 100% boxing. If you're 100% boxing, you're not 100% UFC. You know what I mean? It's like you're a boxing fan, you'll occasionally watch some UFC fights. If you're a UFC fan, you always watch those fights, and you occasionally see a few boxing matches or not, right? So it's gonna reunite everybody.
Some fans don't even watch any of the other.
And they're gonna tune in this Saturday night, though. You know what I mean? So it's entertainment, man. At its best.
Do you think it needs to be exciting though, Jesse? Because last time even Floyd said that he wants to make up for the fight with Pacquiao with this fight. Is that one a little bit lackluster?
I think it will be. It has to. You know, if it doesn't, it could hurt the pay-per-view buys, you know, in the future. But I believe that it will be good. I truly believe that it will be a good fight. It will be entertainment because you have two trash talkers that are gonna talk trash inside that ring. It's the way I see it. I mean, it's an opinion, not a fact, because we really don't know what can happen. But I think that they're gonna trash talk inside that ring. Get, you know, switch off a few words here and there, and ultimately somebody is gonna win by knockout. I don't know who though. You know what I mean? Because Conor does pack a punch, and Floyd has the perfect technique, you know, to apply that technique and force and power to knock out Conor McGregor, because Conor isn't the most tactical boxer. You know what I mean? He's only been doing it for a couple months, so he's trying to make adjustments to his UFC unique, awkward, and weird style into the boxing game, which sometimes for the boxers, I mean, we all know that when you bring in a street fighter inside the boxing ring, I've done it before when I was a kid, a teenager, you know. So we see a street fighter, you know, we usually they're awkward, so they're just like, you know, they're here, they're there, their hands go around here, and then they can punch from this angle here, and then just blow a punch out of nowhere. Evander Holyfield said it best. Like, you fight a street fighter, you're not fighting your ordinary fighter. So you just never know what can happen, what punch he could land on you. You know what I mean? Because they have a freaky-ish style. Like, it's just like, they're so scared to fight, they'll just throw a punch out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Kind of like Day Day used to show on the Friday movies. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like, you know? But anyways, going back to what I was saying, so when you fight a fighter that isn't technically sound, doesn't really know what he's doing, but he's working with it, he has confidence and he has power, then you have to make sure where the punches are coming from, where the angles are coming from, you know, and his positioning. But it's just automatically, I mean, from what we saw in the press training session,
yeah,
you know what I mean, with Conor McGregor, he had this really awkward style. He was like jumping around. That could hurt him, but it's also gonna throw off Floyd. Because Floyd's gonna be like, what is this guy doing? You know, let me check him real quick. What's he doing? You know what I mean? You gotta think twice, because when you go against a street fighter or a fighter that just isn't technically sound, doesn't do things the way an actual technical smart fighter should do, you got to be careful, because that's when you get hit. And when you get hit with punches you don't see, and that you're not used to seeing them coming from that angle, you can get dropped, man. I mean,
that they're not so difficult. It's just it takes time to adjust to them.
Yeah, definitely, it takes time to adjust. That's what it is. I guess that's the perfect way to, not a perfect way to put it, because you can't adjust to a style that isn't known to be a style. It's just like a free-for-all. You know what I mean? And if you have the power, then you got to be careful. That's why I'm predicting that Floyd could win by knockout, or Conor could win by knockout. If Floyd wins by knockout, it would be in the later rounds, and if Conor wins by knockout, it would be in the early rounds, because Floyd needs to just really adjust and have an idea of where the punches are coming from, because at this point, no one knows what type of style Conor McGregor is going to fight with. You know what I mean? Whether he's going to fight with his hands down, hands up. You know, what we do know is what you saw in that clip where he was sparring with Paulie Malignaggi.
What did you see in that clip?
I saw him land a couple of nice left hands. A left hand that he'd lean with his punch. So he's actually susceptible to actually getting hit. Yeah, with an uppercut. You know what I mean? When you lean in that much. But he can pack a punch. You know what I mean? That's the thing. How do I know this? Because you can see the way when he did land the left hand on Paulie, you know, it made an effect on Paulie.
The impact.
Yeah. Now for the knockdown, I don't think it was a knockdown, but I'll let everybody else decide. You know, y'all got to see that video. I know Paulie's pissed. Paulie's pissed. I mean, it is unethical to do something like that. You know what I mean? To really promote that. If you would have done it, you know, there's ways around it. You know what I mean? You could have just told Paulie, dude, you know, this has to be done. You know? And I mean, because he wants to show the fans that he has what it takes. You know what I mean? But he only showed clips where it made Paulie look bad. That's why it bothered him.
Just judging from what each guy said about it, you know, just speculation. Who do you think, if you had to guess, got the better of those two sparring sessions overall?
You know, I'm a boxing fan, and not only that, but I'm in the boxing game, so I'm being non-biased. But me knowing Paulie, I know that he's a He's a straight up type of guy. You know what I mean? He's as honest as they come, and he'll tell it to you straight and to your face. You know, that's the thing about Paulie. So and then not only that, but I put together everything that he says. I put it together with the clips. I put it together with how he reacted to the videos, and how he reacted right after the sparring when nothing was leaked. He didn't say anything. You know what I mean? With a man like that says a lot. If he wasn't out there saying anything of how Conor McGregor was prepared, you know, and what's his plan, you know, what's his best possibility for him to win, or his best technique, that says a lot about Paulie. But once that video came out, he was like, alright, you wanna know something? You know, this, that, and this. You know what I'm saying? So he was pissed.
So you do believe
I do believe Paulie 100%, and I would expect that from Conor McGregor 100%. 100%. I mean,
how he went about it.
Of course,
yeah.
Of course. I mean, I expected that beforehand, definitely, because I said things before in videos prior, and maybe I spoke too much or I spoke too soon, but for that same reason, because I can kind of see that demeanor and that style of Conor McGregor, you know what I mean? He just doesn't care what people think, and he'll do whatever he feels like doing. It doesn't matter if he disrespect anyone. You know what I mean? He says it himself. You know what I'm saying? So it was all true, because it was really unethical for him to post those videos. It's not something we usually do, but you know, hey, it happens.
But you do think that he does have a chance to knock out Floyd?
I think he has a puncher's chance to knock out Floyd. I think that he's going to. His best bet is to offset Floyd, is to kind of freak him out and say, you know, that way Floyd could think twice and say, well, what is this guy doing? You know what I mean? Every now and then, if he uses his power in the clinches to move him around, and maybe
he's wrestling, so obviously he's strong.
Exactly. He's strong. He's strong in that area.
But wouldn't you think clinching and
keep in
boxing
mind
is different than what, you know, wrestling around in MMA? Maybe it's two different skills, being good in the clinches and boxing, or no? You think it's the same thing?
If you know how to use it to your advantage, I mean, because it's like this. If Conor knows how to clinch, I would work. If I was Floyd, I would say, you know what? Conor is a wrestler. He knows how to wrestle. He knows how to maneuver the opponent's weight against him, or wherever he wants, right? But in those clinches, wouldn't you think that he knows how to grab the elbow or the arm in a way where he can kind of bend the arm in? You know what I'm saying? Things like that.
You're talking about dirty boxing.
Are you gonna see it? Most likely. I mean, probably not. Probably not. You know what? I'm not even gonna say anything. But you never know. That's the thing. I mean, those are questions that the world is asking. Not just me. I mean, it's like, what will he try kicking Floyd? Will he try elbowing Floyd? You know what I mean? You know, would it be accidental? It's just all these questions run up in the air, but that's why everybody wants to see the fight. It's like, what would happen? Is he gonna bust a kick? Is he not? I mean, he will get fined. He will get fined. But will he still do it? Yeah. You know what I mean? That's the question.
Jesse, did you ever get a chance to spar Floyd, and if so, how fast is he?
I've never sparred Floyd. I've seen him spar. He is extremely fast. But I'd say more than anything, his ring IQ is on another level. You know, he prepares everything from minutes in advance. You know, and is very explosive. Has a lot of classic old school tricks to him. You know what I mean? He has his own style too. You know, and that's what people can't get. Other fighters, you know what I mean? That nice pull back, set up, and come back with his right. You know what I mean? The way he has his head movement, he ducks in different levels. So he has his own unique style, and that's why people haven't been able to adjust to his style. You know, and that's what Conor McGregor is trying to do to Floyd. Is going to try to do to Floyd. Imply his unique, awkward style to the point where he's putting Floyd in a situation that he's never been in, and he's expecting Floyd to react, you know, surprised, hey baby, cautious and aware of what's coming at him. You know.
My last question, Jesse. Obviously, Floyd doesn't need any advice. He's been doing this for 20+ years. Is there at least one advice that you can give to Conor that might be able to help him? If not, you could take away and be like, all right, this would be helpful.
Well, from everything that I've heard and seen, I'd say, hey man, They told you this once before. Bring your wraps, bring your trunks, and bring everything you need to go the full 12 rounds.
Were you trying to say bring your balls? Or?
No, I'm just saying to be ready, you know what I mean? Because boxing is different from UFC. You know, it's 12 rounds in boxing, 3-minute rounds, and in UFC it's five rounds, five-minute rounds.
5-minute rounds to the championship.
That's right. So it's different. So he has to be able to get used to that, to the time basically. You know what I mean? The time, the pace. You know, the way we switch levels, the way it's all upper body movement. You know what I mean? When it comes to punches, you know, be in and out and know how to get your rest, benefit from that 1-minute rest and come back out for 3 minutes and give it all you got.
I remember you
know, because you can't really go on the ground and wrestle and take a breather or something like that. You know what I mean? It's different. I respect the UFC. You know what I mean? I respect the UFC champions. Kevin Lee being one of the top guys in the division, I respect what he does, and I know it's not easy, but it's a different game and it's a different time, different pace. So he has to be ready for the full 12 rounds.
I remember once you told me it's like running on a treadmill while someone hits you and then you gotta hit back.
Yeah, I mean, you're tired, you're fatigued, but you have to know when and where to rest. You know what I mean? If you're backing off, you gotta know to take a quick breather and come back in. You know what I mean? You gotta know how, if there's a clinch, all right, take a few breathers and bam, let's go, baby. You know, you gotta be ready at all times. And if you are fatigued and if you are tired, you gotta know how to react at that moment, at that instant. You know what I mean? If you tired, you know, and you gotta move, and you got 4 punches coming at you, you're not gonna stay there because you're tired. Pop, pop, you move out the way. But that's us fighters. We're so used to that. You know what I mean? That if you're tired, it's still a reaction that you
like
automatically have. You could say muscle memory. You know what I mean? But your brain's also working. You're tired, you're fatigued, but you see punches coming. Boom, boom, boom. And then, I mean, you're not gonna slip all of them. You know, so if you can't slip, you block them. You know what I mean?
And if not, you take it in the chin.
And if not, you take it in the chin, but you don't give up. You know what I mean? We as fighters, we go the full 12 rounds, and we don't give up. You know what I mean? You know, a lot of fighters, unfortunately, not a lot, but some fighters get knocked out because they don't want to give up. You know what I mean? If they gave up beforehand, they would just throw in the towel or just take a knee and that's it. And that's really what I'm hoping that Conor won't do, and he'll be able to fight the full 12, even if he is fatigued, but knowing how to adjust and to find a way to survive the round or whatever the case might be. But Floyd knows how to do that. Floyd's been hit with some big punches. He's been stunned, he's been surprised, but he's known how to adapt, you know what I mean, and stay in the fight and come back the next minute or come back literally right after he got hit. That's the key. I think that's what's gonna make a difference here, because here you have to react at the instant.